All right, let's get right into it. We all have these huge goals, right? These big dreams we're chasing. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the biggest thing holding you back isn't your job or the economy or just plain old bad luck, but your own mind?
I mean, you know the feeling. You're so close. You can taste it. You're about to reach that final rung on the ladder, and then, bam. Out of nowhere, it all falls apart. You pick a stupid fight, you miss a deadline, you lose your keys right before the big meeting. It just feels cosmically unfair.
And this is a tough pill to swallow, but we have to ask, what if it's not bad luck? What if the culprit is, well, us? This pattern of getting right to the edge of success and then having it all unravel is a classic sign of self-sabotage. We unconsciously do things that go completely against our own best interests. But why? Why on earth would we do that to ourselves?
To really get to the bottom of the why, we need to look at this hidden mechanism that's always running in the background. And the best way to think about it is like this. You have an inner thermostat for your life.
The entrepreneur Ed Mylett just nails this with a fantastic analogy. He says that deep down, our identity, what we believe we deserve, is set to a specific temperature. Let's say your thermostat is set to 72 degrees. That's your comfort zone. That's the level of happiness and success your subconscious will always try to maintain.
And there's a clinical name for this too. The psychologist Gay Hendricks calls it the upper limit problem. It's the exact same idea. You get that big promotion, you find a great relationship, your life's temperature suddenly shoots up to, say, 85 degrees. And even though it's amazing, it's unfamiliar. And that's when a little alarm starts quietly going off in your head.
And what does our brain do when that alarm goes off? It kicks on the air conditioning. It needs to get things back to that familiar 72 degrees. So we start an argument, or we procrastinate on a project, or we find some other way to cool things off. See, it's not about what we want, it's about what feels known and what feels safe.
And that's the real battle right there. You've got the familiar zone, it's predictable, it's safe, but it's also limiting. And then you have the growth zone. That's where the dreams are, but it's also scary and unfamiliar. Self-sabotage is basically the bouncer that violently kicks you out of that scary growth zone and shoves you right back into the familiar one.
Okay, so if this inner thermostat is the root cause, what are the symptoms? How does this self-sabotage actually show up day to day? Let's break down some of the biggest warning signs.
So first up, you got the stuff you do or don't do. Procrastination is the big one, right? We put things off because subconsciously we're terrified of what happens if we succeed or if we fail. Then there's overplanning, or paralysis by analysis, where you get so caught up in making the perfect plan that you never actually start. And of course, just avoiding anything that feels uncomfortable or walking away the second things get a little tough, that's a guaranteed ticket back to your comfort zone.
Next is the stuff that happens between your ears. Perfectionism, for example. It sounds good, but really it's just setting an impossible standard for yourself so you have a built-in excuse to never finish. It's totally fueled by that nasty inner critic, that negative self-talk, which then turns into crippling self-doubt and its evil twin, imposter syndrome, that feeling that you're a total fraud and someone's about to find you out.
And finally, we even sabotage our relationships. We endlessly compare our real lives to someone else's perfect-looking Instagram feed. Or we pick fights in a happy relationship to create distance because intimacy feels, well, too hot for our thermostat. Even people-pleasing, saying yes to everything, is a form of this because it means you're always saying no to your own dreams. It all keeps you staring in the rearview mirror at the past instead of at the road ahead.
So, just recognizing these patterns is a huge step, but it's not enough. How do we actually fix this? How do we stop turning on the AC and instead figure out how to raise the heat on that inner thermostat for good?
Well, here's a simple 4-step plan. 1, just start noticing. When you catch yourself procrastinating, don't beat yourself up, just observe it. 2, try to identify the trigger. What feeling are you running from? Is it fear of failing? Or maybe, just maybe, it's a fear of success. 3, you've got to fight back against that inner critic. When it says you can't, you have to learn to question it. And 4, this is the big one. You have to take action even when you're scared. Discomfort isn't a stop sign. It's a sign that you're growing. It's how you turn up the heat.
And there's one last strategy that is an absolute game changer: proximity. Ed Mylett talks about this a lot. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. So if you surround yourself with people whose thermostats are set to 95 degrees, people who are optimistic, who chase big goals, their heat literally rubs off on you. Their belief in what's possible starts to reset your own definition of normal.
So that's really what it all boils down to. Once you see the pattern, you have power over it. Look, it's not an overnight fix, not at all. But it starts with making a choice. A choice to stop being your own biggest obstacle and start being your own biggest advocate. So the real question isn't what you're capable of doing. The real question is, what dream will you finally allow yourself to achieve?